I have an orange tree in my backyard, and I have a lot of oranges. I also get kidney stones, and I had heard that making fresh squeezed orange juice was a good way of possibly keeping kidney stones from forming. I'd heard this about lemons too, or lemon juice, but I decided since I got an orange tree, I might as well go with that. Anyway, I'd also heard that the right way to really make real orange juice is to leave the pith on, which means you just cut off the rind and leave the white part, because that is said to have the highest amount of bioflavonoids, which are an antioxidant, and it also has as much vitamin C as the actual fruit has. You can see I've got a lot of pith on my particular oranges that stays on there. There's also fiber in that. How much of that goes through the GreenStar and actually ends up in the juice, I don't know, but the juice does end up looking kind of creamy colored as compared to clear. The GreenStar is a really robust juicer. It grinds up oranges quite well. It is a twin gear juicer, and it doesn't rotate very fast. It has a smaller chute, so because of that you have to cut fruit or vegetables down and prepare them. It does a great job though with oranges. You can see the gears down the side there kind of spinning against each other. Like I said, it produces kind of a creamy colored orange juice, and it does a good job of extracting the actual juice from the fruit, I feel anyway, because the pulp is pretty darn dry. I use the wood plunger. I've heard most people prefer it. It's okay if the wood plunger actually hits the gears. It won't really grind it or anything, but I heard it was better to use than the plastic one. The motor on the GreenStar is very robust, very quiet. You can put the cord underneath it. It's very easy to clean. Just taking a few parts out of it. There are a number of parts, so there will be more to clean, but it's relatively fairly easy. And you know, for doing what I'm doing here with orange juice, I mean, I love it. It's probably becoming my favorite for doing this type of thing. The gear housing there is surprisingly heavy. There does end up being some mess on the actual motor, but you just wipe that off with a sponge later on. So, and again, you can see that the pulp ends up being very dry. You can tell when I slap it on the counter. It's not too wet. And again, the juice looks thicker and creamy because that pith is in there. And like I said again, I don't know if this is going to keep me from getting kidney stones, but I'm going to test it out because I really don't want to get them again. And I got enough oranges, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to try it and we'll see. Cleaning the juicer is just a number of steps. I mean, like I said, there are a lot of parts to it, but the parts are small and it goes fairly quickly. I use a little brush on the screen that I just bought at a kitchen store, and it seems to work pretty good. It works on the gears well too. I also use a toothbrush that I had left over that I cleaned up. I use as hot a water as I can stand because I think that kills off any bacteria. You do need a kind of a toothbrush or something to get at some of the little angles and parts in it, but at least they're manageable. They're not giant parts. I also, like I said, I had to use a sponge to clean off the motor because a little of the excess pulp ends up back there, but it's not bad. It's pretty easy. Didn't take me that long. So all in all, for my first run through with the GreenStar, because I just got this, I really like it. It's super quiet. It's easy for me to handle. It's a little bit bigger than I'm used to, but it seems to have a lot of advantages to it, and I'll be doing some more examples of how it works with vegetables and other fruit here coming up. Thanks.